Hello everybody, this is Anna, also known as AnnaKnitter. Very welcome to my new viewers and to the returning ones. I really do appreciate that you again decided to hit the play button and watch my knitting podcast because there are so many great ones out there. Thank you very much. I'm coming to you from Lower Austria in the Vienna woods, near to Vienna. I live here with my dog and Westie, my dog the Westie, Benny. And he is there. If you want to be updated about when I do upload vlogs or podcast episodes, or when I do shop updates on Etsy, on the screen now you can see where you else can find me in the internet. Feel free to follow me on Facebook or Instagram or contact me on Ravelry, come to our Ravelry group to chat with us all. It's very nice and I always like to read through the threads and the forum. And feel free to subscribe my channel. And yes, this is a podcast about knitting. In the next about an hour, you will see my finished object, my works in progress, some knit-alongs, make-alongs, mystery knit-alongs we will attend or I host. And yes, some ideas for future projects and a lot of heavy knitting content. So let's go right into my finished objects. Okay, let me take a sip of coffee because you will see now the Across the Pond shawl by Mina Phillip in its pre-blocked version. So now I want to show you the unblocked shawl. I think it's always interesting to see pre and after blocking. So this shawl is made of fondant fiber cornflower meadow in the main shawl, you see, the bluish color. And the lace border is made of undyed yak silk content from Wollland. It's an Austrian company. Yes, I only do this styling thing that you can see how small it is pre-blocking. So it's curling, there's no definition, it's not open, so to say, the pattern doesn't show nicely. Now you see how thick it looks, although it's very drapey yarn. It's curling again, just not pretty. You can't, yes, definitely you can wear it like this, but it won't look nice and pretty. You saw now the unblocked version. I wanted to show you the impact of blocking your knitting. Normally I do block, or not normally. I had no blocking wires, no blocking mats. I haven't had enough pins in the past for blocking my shawls correct. And at the Vienna Wool and Design Festival last week or the week before last week, time flows by, time goes by, doesn't matter. I purchased some blocking wires and T-pins. It is a set by Knit Pro with blocking wires in different length and T-pins, and there is a measurement tape in it, but I don't need it because I don't exactly block a shawl, an accessory, into the dimensions of the original pattern or what the pattern says, because I decide depending on how the fabric will look like when I stretch it, and yes, I don't want it too loose and don't want it too thick, or I don't know, because I always use different yarns than the pattern suggests, so I can't do it in the same way as the designer does, because every yarn behaves in a different way. So, and now you will see the Across the Pond shawl in its blocked version. as I hopefully said in the last segments, I used fondant fiber Cornflower Meadow for the main color or the body of the shawl. The lace edging was made of Volland, yak and silk blend. And oh yes, the fondant fiber is the henna base, so mulberry silk and superwash merino. And I used higher sharps in 3.5 millimeter, which is US 4, size US 4. My favorite needles in the past were the Knit Pro Symphonies, because back then I thought they had very sharp needle tips. I hope Benny is not too loud for you because he's playing again. Because I thought they have sharp needle tips, and I like the wooden ones, not bamboo. Bamboo is too sticky for me. I like the wooden ones because they are slicky enough. Not too slicky, but slicky enough. But now I have to say, I changed my mind. My most favorite needles, and I think they are the most expensive ones, are the higher sharps, because they are ultra slicky, and I love fast needles. For those who don't know, knitters call needles fast when they are slicky or slippery. Okay, I will take Benny next door so that he can play as loud as he wants. Wait, please. Okay, I'm back. So fast needles means that they are very slick, so the yarn flies off the needles, you know. Some knitters like it, as me, and some don't, because okay, if you use a fast needle and a slippery yarn like 100% silk, for example, it might be too fast, because it's there is no, I have the word on my tongue but it can't go out. There is no grip. There's absolutely no grip there. But if you use superwash merino or every other kind of wool or a good blend, that shouldn't be a problem. Why I love the higher sharps is because of their the main reason why I like them are their tips. They are so sharp. I think I should show you the tips. I store everything yarn and fiber related there. Okay, here are the higher sharps in US 4. They always have this blue cord, and I think it's stylish. And here are the tips. And now I will compare them to the Knit Pro Symphonies. I'm not quite sure. Maybe I should use a lighter one. I'll use this here. I'm not sure if you really see the difference, but there is a huge difference. Yeah, I think you can see it. So, and if, for example, when do I need these sharp tips? Especially when I do knit two together. Or knitting through the back loop is not that big of a deal with not sharp tips, but knit two togethers with these aren't really a pleasure. So I know the higher sharps. Oh yes, and be careful or be cautious, or I don't know. There are higher and there are higher sharps. Because I did the mistake, I ordered a pair of higher and thought they were sharp, but they are only higher. So there are higher and higher sharps. And yes, I will think about if I want to have a set like this from Knit Pro. But I guess I will only buy some in the sizes I really use often, and maybe in the interchangeable version, if it's possible to buy them as a single. Because I have this beautiful set and I really love it. Yes, if I don't have to do knit two togethers and a whole row for a lace pattern, for example. But these I have never ever used until now, and this once. And yes, so I really only use or mostly use the smaller needle sizes up to 4 millimeters. And that's not, 4 millimeter is not often the case. 4 millimeter would be US size 6. So mostly I'm going up to US 4, and everything above that size is very, very rare in my knitting life. Okay, higher shops. Oh, and that's what I have left. I have to say that this has quite a good yardage. I think 100 gram has 466 meter, so it's very thin. And this, I think, I'm not quite sure if she wrote it on her tag, but I don't think so. So this should be a normal yardage, 400 meters or so. And that's not much. And I will keep it because a lovely viewer and me decided a few months ago that we want to present each other in Advent a self-made mini Advent calendar. But I don't mean that the calendar is mini. I mean that in every door for each day is a yarn mini. And I will take this opportunity now to ask who else want to do this. I would love to have more than only one mini Advent calendar. I don't know if I will buy the opal one this year again. I think it's more special if you do the calendar by yourself. And when I was a child, and no, still nowadays, I received a self-filled Advent calendar from my parents. And I think it's much more special. Even though there are very great ones to buy out there with super special high-end content. I don't know, you not only get with candies inside, you get some with makeup, perfume, or drawing material, office supplies and stuff, and everything. You can get everything in an Advent calendar, but I think the self-made ones are the most special ones. Yeah, I prefer self-made ones. So if anybody out there is already thinking about Christmas and Advent time, I do it through the whole year. Maybe because I'm Catholic, because Christmas is a very important feast. And yes, random. Yes, and if you want to do a Advent calendar swap with me, please contact me, reach out to me, and yes, we will do it. Okay, the next thing I want to share with you is not really a finished object, but I wanted to try, as I showed you the Among the Shadows shawl already in an earlier episode, and I told you that there is this wave here. The fabric creates this bulk or wave, I don't know. And the viewer told me I have to block it again. And so I tried it with my new blocking wires. This was the first object I used the blocking wires for. And it's a bit better now, but there is still this wave. But yes, maybe I can... No, I will insert the video now and you can see how it looks when I'm wearing it after reblocking with my Knit Pro blocking wires. really love that yarn, and it's soft. The color is so gorgeous, and I want to, if Molly does, I don't know when, an update with this colorway, I want to knit a hat out of this because I think it looks good on me. It would be very cool to have a matching hat. Okay, Molly is great. Molly is really great. Her yarns are great. A long time ago, she was sewing project bags, and I have one project bag by her, and I very much hope that she will sew up some in the future again, because I like her taste. She has a very good taste in color choices, fabric choices to put it together, and she just does a great job. I really appreciate her work. Okay. My works in progress. I have a mess now on my head. I'm so sorry. My works in progress. I did a little bit of progress with my Father's Day sock. I wanted to say no. It's I'm knitting a pair of socks for my dad because my mom and my dad asked me for knitting them socks because they know how much I love knitting. And I knit this pair of socks on 2.5mm needles Knit Pro Symphony, and that means it's 1.5 US size, needle size, 1.5. It's made of chicory. The colorway is called chicory. And I really can't remember. I always say this. I know in one episode I told you the correct company, but it's Madeline-Tosh or Malabrigo. And I think it's Malabrigo, but I'm not sure. But the colorway name is chicory, and it's very interesting because I have never seen such a colorway before. Here's the cake. It's very shiny, and it's not blue. It's a greenish blue, and it's very pretty. It looks like gemstones. And this will be in size European shoe size 45, and US is 11.5 shoe size. Yeah, for my dad. There isn't much to see. I think I did cast on 72 stitches. I did a 2x2 ribbing. Yeah. And yes, I always knit the wrap and turn heel. I know this fancy fish lips kiss heel is very common in the US and among all the podcasters and viewers and so on. And I purchased this pattern, but I was too lazy to learn this heel. One day I will do because I'm just curious. But when I started to knit socks, I did the normal gusset. I think it's called flap and gusset or heel flap and gusset. Okay, in German it's Käppchenferse because Käppchen is a Käppchen means normally it's the cute form of Kappe, and Kappe is something like a hat you put on your head. So it's something in that shape. And it's the regular now I did forgot heel. The word heel. It's the regular heel you learn. Well, I don't know, from your grandma or your mom. But I didn't enjoy all the increases or decreases, and to knit this flat it took so long. So then I discovered the German short rows. So I knit the heels with German short rows, and the main difference to the wrap and turn is that you create by pulling the yarn a double stitch. It's one stitch, but you pull your yarn, and so you pull your stitch down and you create two strands, so to say. I don't know how to explain it. There are many tutorials on YouTube, and the best way, I think, to learn a new technique is with Stacey Perry from Very Pink Knits. I learned pretty much everything from her. Okay, but this pulling, you have to pull very strong, and it did hurt everything, my neck, my hands, and I created holes on the sides of the heels, left and right. And I wasn't content. It wasn't enjoyable to knit, and I hated it. So then I discovered the wrap and turn heel, and that's in the US, the typical boring way to knit a heel. And many US knitters enjoy the German short rows, I realized when I was watching the Stacey Perry videos about it, and I read the comments, and they were, and also she herself is a passionate German short row knitter. And I can't understand it because it's so exhausting to do the double stitch of the German short row. So I love wrap and turn. Another thing again why I think I belong to the USA. There are so many things in the US I do like much more than in Germany or in Austria. So okay, that's the way I will knit the heel. Just a simple wrap and turn heel. And to avoid the holes on the sides of the heel, I always pick up, when I finish the heel, I don't only close and knit in the round again. I pick up 1, 2, 3 stitches on the sides in the gap between the round and the heel, and in the next 2 or 3 rounds I just decrease again. So in that way I never have holes in my heels. If you have questions regarding that, because I didn't really explain what I did, contact me, okay? So my work in progress number 1, socks are my dad, and I think I should hurry a bit because I want to have them finished. It's a shame that he does not own them already. So the next work in progress is the Stormy Sky shawl. It's a pattern, it's a free pattern on Ravelry, but the Ravelry project page will lead you to the website, which is called Life is Cozy. And the woman behind the Life is Cozy is, I really don't know how to pronounce it. Read the screen, please. I really have no clue how to pronounce it. Okay. And it's a free pattern, so I could show you everything here and without getting troubles, okay? And I knit this shawl on 4mm needles, Knit Pro Symphony, but I don't enjoy to knit it with the symphonies because of the reason what I was talking about with the higher sharps. I have to do in the patterns some knit two togethers, and so I will have to buy a 4mm higher sharp. Okay, confusing. We will start at the beginning. So the pattern calls for one skein of fingering weight yarn. She explains that she thinks it's cool when you have a pattern which only acquires 1 skein of yarn, and you not only get a shawlette, but a big shawl. And it's big because it's it is knitted very airy because of dropped stitches and lace patterns, so it will stretch out very much. And she knits it with with bigger needles. She calls for 5.5mm, and that would be US size 9. Fingering weight yarn and US size 9. She says at least you have to use needles which are 3 sizes bigger than the yarn tag says or calls for. I tried it but I'm a loose knitter, so I always have to go down in needle size. And I really didn't enjoy, I did go down, and I really didn't enjoy what I created with 5 millimeter. Then I used, so she said 5.5 millimeter. I used 5 millimeter and I hated it. Then I used 4.5 millimeter. I hated it. Now I have 4 millimeter and I think it's enough. So normally I would use for a fingering weight yarn 1.5 US size, and now I'm using 6. No, yes, 6. Okay, 4 millimeter, right? Yeah, US size 6. I think it's big enough. And I should show you what I knit. I knit it out of my yarn, which I dyed. It's the Superior Merino base, and I can tell you, it is so soft. It is so soft. I can't wait to wear it around my neck. It's so soft. And I think after washing and blocking, it will be even softer. And it's the Latte Macchiato colorway. And I always want to drink coffee when I see it. And I have coffee here. So, she always does a slip stitch on the beginning of the right side row, I guess, or wrong side row. Doesn't matter. I did, but it looked so very slouchy and not pretty the way I did. So I decided to unravel everything, use my favorite needle size, and I only do a knit stitch on the beginning of every right side and wrong side row. Okay, that's what I changed in the pattern. So you have garter, slip stitch, garter, yarn overstripe, and then it goes again. Garter, slip stitch, garter, yarn overstripe. Maybe I should... Now you can see how airy it is. Oh, that's the way you see it the best, I think. And it's so pretty. I really like it. I really like it, and that will be my summer shawl for the evenings. Because it will be very big. It will be my first big triangular shawl. I told you that I want to try out a triangular. And as you can see, it's really big. So that will be the perfect shawl over my blue summer dresses, because brown and blue is perfect. A perfect combination. And yes, I was curious how my yarn will knit up, and I'm very content. I'm very, very content with the way it looks. Okay. These were my works in progress. And now I will talk about the knit-alongs. Okay, we have a blanket along going. The blanket along goes through the whole year of 2017. And every other month-ish, I draw winner. The last winner I have drawn on May 1st. It was Lainey Knits. She contacted me already and everything is fine, but I realized that she won the prize already 2 months ago. So I decided to draw another winner in addition from Instagram. This time I draw the winner from Instagram. And the other winner is the Instagram user, and now I'm not sure how to pronounce it, Galswin Girl, I guess. Galswin Girl. We had 81 entries and she is the second winner, and I decided to give away one of my yarns. So if you're watching, please reach out to me, Galswin Girl from Instagram. I think I will write you an APN just to be sure. You can visit my Etsy page and pick one of my yarns, no matter what kind of yarn you can choose. and you will get it for free as a giveaway, and I will send it out to you because I'm very happy for Lainey, but I could imagine that some of the viewers and the participators, is that a word? are a bit sad when they see, oh no, she wins two times in a row, and so I thought, why not? We just draw another winner in addition. Okay, she entered in our along with her blue 10-stitch blanket. Very pretty. I just draw winner by coincidence. So I did this, without looking, and then pointing on one entry, and that's the way I draw Lainey, and that's the way I draw Gold's Win Girl. Wonderful. A yarn from me by your choice. And the next winner will be drawn from our Ravelry thread again. But you can still feel free to share your progress with the hashtag AnnaKnitter blanket along on Instagram, because it's always nice to see what you all are doing, and I will the time after the next time again draw from Instagram, so I will always alternate, and the more you post, the luckier you might be. Yes, we have a Ravelry thread for our chatting and progressing and so on, pictures and so on. You don't have to finish your blanket to be able to win a prize. You can knit, crochet, sew, or whatever kind of craft you like to do to create a blanket. And it's just about keeping us motivated and share the pretty yarns and patterns. Okay, the other along I want to host is the Locatelli along, because Howie Locatelli is my favorite designer. And she will start a mystery knit along on May 12th. And that's the day our Locatelli along will start. And last time I told you, or I said that I want to, will run it 1 month. But I changed my mind again, because by then the mystery knit along from her, the mystery wrap, won't be completed, and I think it's stupid. So we will the along will run from May 12th to, I think it is June 23, where I think that's the last day of her along, or maybe it's the last clue, so then it would be June 30-ish. You will read it on the in the first post of our thread. I already opened a thread for the Locatelli along, and whips are allowed. You can enter every design from her. You don't have to participate in the mystery knit along, but it would be cool if there is anybody out there who want to join and is knitting the mystery wrap, because I will do this, and it's always so, I don't know, I'm always so excited about those things. Yes, that's that. Wow, much talking. Okay, now we come to the segment questions. Two reached out to me and asked me to talk a bit about what I will do after I finished my thesis and what my thesis is about. So I studied theology. That took 5 years. It's called Magister, so you would call it Master. I'm Master of Theology. Then I worked 2 years as a primary school teacher. I taught religion, and that was the thing I really always wanted to do. There was no need for me to study the whole theology to be a teacher, but I wanted it. So I did what I love and worked as a teacher, and I really enjoyed it. But I missed to study, and I missed the higher theology, so to say, because you have to talk to children at a primary school in another way than to students or, to adults. Okay, so I decided to start writing my thesis because I had the chance to get a studentship. I achieved it, and now I work from home, so to say, and I'm writing about because someone asked me about my research question, and it's a bit difficult for me to translate it in English, but I would say it's the question of the need of the church for our salvation in the writings of Joseph Ratzinger, who was our last pope, and Henri de Lubac. I heard an American pronouncing his name, and it was so funny because he said Henri de Lubac. So funny. But okay, he is from France, and Joseph Ratzinger is German. And these two guys are my two favorite theologians. And they were discussing that question about, do we need the church? And if we need the church, why? And do we need the church to get into heaven, so to say, to get the salvation? And how do the ones who aren't members of the church, how do they get their salvation? Because the church, the Catholic Church, says that you don't need the baptism, or that you don't have to be a member of the church to get salvation. But on the other hand, the church says that the baptism is, now I don't know how to translate that word. In German we would say heilsnotwendig. So there is a need of the baptism to get salvation. So the church says on the one hand you need the baptism for your salvation, and on the other hand she says, is it correct, she? Because it's feminine in German. And on the other hand the church says, but you can also get the salvation without being member of the church and without baptism. So it's a contradiction, but yeah, we could call it in German, or the Greek word is paradoxon. So on the first view, you would say it's a contradiction, but on the other hand, there is, or in a deeper view, you see it belongs together, and both is true. So that's my research question. I don't have an answer yet, because that wouldn't be scientifically correct, so to say, because I try to read all the books and all the writings of the church and the two theologians I'm researching, so to say. I try to be to free my mind, to free my mind and not search with something, not to read with something in my mind I want to find, If you have this in your mind and you read the writings, you will find those phrases or those things in their writings. But I think you have to free your mind to find the truth. I don't want to find what I would prefer to find. So it's very difficult for me to explain it in English, but I hope you get what I mean. Okay, let me see if I forgot something. No, that was everything for today. I hope you enjoyed what I showed you, and feel free to subscribe this YouTube channel, my YouTube channel. Then you always will get a notification when I upload something. I recently uploaded a vlog again because many viewers wanted to see me going with Benny for a walk, as I did in the winter. So I did, and then I'm always open to what you like to see. Reach out to me, write me what you want to see, what you want to hear about me talking about, and so on, because I make this show for you and to get in contact with you all, because I love you all, you knitters out there, and it's great. It's so great that you stay and stick with me. It's fascinating, and I'm very grateful to have this opportunity, and that there are so many nice people out there who watch me and write so nice things to me and about me. So we will see each other next week. Have a happy knitting week. Bye bye.